What's up, you guys? Today we are cleaning out a real life working pantry. I talk about this often, but I have a lot of new people here. So you can see the door behind me. This is our garage door. This originally was a coat closet. We needed a pantry. I've always done once a month grocery shopping, and our kitchen is very small. Like, it doesn't even have enough room for all of the like pots and pans and stuff that we use on a daily basis. We keep a lot of that stuff downstairs. In the basement, needed a pantry to at least keep some food up here. So when we first moved in, the previous owners left a bunch of like plywood and stuff in the garage, and my husband took a bunch of the materials that they left, put me some shelves in here, just out of materials that they left, so we didn't have to pay for anything in here. But it works well enough for us currently. One day would I love to have a big like walk-in homestead pantry? Of course. Is that ever gonna happen? Not unless we were like to put a really big addition onto the house, which probably is never going to happen. So we can dream it together, we can envision it, but let's just enjoy the thought and then come back to real life here. And this is okay. This is great. So let's just leave that there. It doesn't always have to be like amazing and wonderful and completely gorgeous. It can look like 6 people live here and 6 people dig in this pantry, because that's the reality of it. 6 people live here and 6 people rummage through this pantry on a daily basis. Holiday baking we were doing made my pantry a complete disaster, and then plus I just got a bunch of bulk shipments, flour and rice and all that good stuff, and I'm finally ready to like restock my stuff that I keep up here. We're gonna be making some changes, and then I also have some organizing I need to downstairs in long-term food storage. So today is just organizing all of the food storage, going through all of the things today, and there is that. Let me show you guys a real life what we're looking for. We're starting with, this is just real, all of the stuff. Yeah, so what I mean when I say it looks like 6 people rummage through here. So let's just go ahead and get started. Let's not overcomplicate things. I'm just gonna start pulling everything out, and if I find a lot of duplicates of things, like I know I have a ton of extra chocolate chips and stuff that I had up here for holiday baking. We just didn't use them all. They're going to find a new home downstairs, long-term food storage, because I try to just keep one of everything, not of everything, but one of like our most commonly used items up here, and I keep everything else downstairs because this is just not big enough to have like a ton of extra stuff in. So I try to only keep like a handful of snacks up here, some of like my bulk things, like I've got flour here. I try to keep rice, sugar, brown sugar, just like my basics up here essentially. Ordered these on Amazon. They come in a 4-pack. They also come with 1 cup measuring cups for each of these. It's labeled oats. I just don't, my needs have changed since I've had these. I'm actually gonna keep bread flour in this one, so I'm gonna pull this out so that I can carry it downstairs to fill it out of my 5-gallon buckets. And my oats I'm just gonna leave in the containers that they come in. I just don't go through as many oats anymore. I go through a lot of bread flour though, and I need to have that up here, so I'm gonna do that. Filled my rice up the other day because that order came in from Sam's Club, so before my husband carried that downstairs, I had him fill it for me. A long time ago, back in our Fort Drum days, so like 6 years ago already, I bought these from the Dollar Tree for $1, and this is what I kept my flour and sugar and stuff in. I've kept them because I always find things to repurpose these for, but I'm gonna put my powdered sugar in this because I hate this huge bag. So I'm gonna put as much as I can in here, keep just this up here, and put my powdered sugar downstairs and try to keep this cleared. Bought this for the holidays and obviously didn't use nearly as much as I thought I did, or as much as I was going to. Stuff from Sam's Club is so good. I really like it just for like those random days where like I want a little bit of caffeine, or I want a coffee but I don't want a coffee. Like on days where I'm tempted to go through a drive-through or something and get an iced coffee or a special coffee, I'm just looking to mix it up, get something new, I'll pull this out. I got it from Sam's Club. It's really inexpensive. I think it was like 11 bucks or something like that. I've had this for I want to say over a year, almost a year, and I still have like half of it left. It's really, really good. It's also been cool to pull out with like my dad comes over, or some of my brother-in-law, sister-in-laws who drink coffee and stuff. Just having something special to break out. So I love having this. Like after, so much better. This took me about 15 minutes. Pulled a lot of stuff out. I think I have like half a trash bag full of just empty boxes that were in here. Happens, I didn't clean this out before once grocery shopping, so it's kind of bound to happen that way, but it feels good to be able to see what's in here. We've talked about this in the past, how I do my freezer setup is once a package is opened, I will pull it out of my chest freezers and put it in my freezer up in my kitchen attached to my fridge. That way, if I'm looking for a bag of corn or a bag of chicken nuggets, a bag of french fries, whatever it is, I know to look in my freezer in my kitchen first, and if it's not in there, that means I don't have one that's opened, and I can go into my chest freezers and open up a new bag. That's how I like to use this pantry as well. Sorry, I'm competing with some very happy toddlers, but that's why I like to use this pantry as well. I know if I need a bag of chocolate chips, I can come look up here, and if I don't have a bag of chocolate chips, that means I'm good to go downstairs and open up a new bag. Same with things like tortilla chips or crackers or anything like that. I know if it's not in this pantry, I'm good to go on opening up a new one. That way we try to avoid things getting lost to the back of the pantry or having things go stale. However, it does happen. I did pull out, I think, 1, 2, 3 open graham cracker sleeves. I think that happened when we did the graham cracker gingerbread houses over the holidays, but I actually have a really good recipe to be able to use up those stale graham crackers, and it's one of my kids' favorite recipes, so I think I'll make that later today. Maybe I'll bring you guys along for that. Super quick, super easy, and the kids can have it as an after-school snack. I think they'll really like that. Maybe I'll even throw some of these leftover Christmas sprinkles on it. But I also have a ton of stuff that I need to carry downstairs, get on long-term storage, because for whatever reason, for whatever reason, it ended up here and it needs to go downstairs and stay out of here. So this is a really great check mark so far. We need to fill up our bread flour, and I need to get my brown sugar back in here, but I also want to make a batch of coffee creamer today because I put the last of it in my coffee this morning. So I'll also bring you guys along, show you guys how I make my coffee creamer. I'll show you guys downstairs bulk storage, and we'll refill some of these, plus refilling the bulk storage downstairs, and maybe that stale graham cracker after school snack. So lots of things happening today. I have some of these buckets linked down below in the description box. Obviously ours are from Tractor Supply. However, I'm going to be doing an order through Amazon to get more of these bins because I'm just at the point now, family of 6, soon to be 7. I just need more of these because we're going through a lot more of this stuff now than we ever have before, which is also a good sign because that means all of the like hard work and learning to cook from scratch, all this preserving you see here, it means that it's paying off and we're getting better and becoming more self-sufficient, which is the whole goal, right? So in this bag is some sugar. I have been picking out of it slowly so I could get it lighter so I could dump it in here. Just plain sugar like this to make our own brown sugar. So this is like a 2-for-1 kind of product. I know you can use sugar to make your own powdered sugar. That's probably something I'll never do, to be honest, but I know you can. That was the very last bit of my bread flour. I want to make sure I'm bringing my old stuff upstairs first and putting my new stuff on top. So that's why I was kind of waiting for it to dump these in, for them to get low enough so that I was actually taking the rest of the last of a little bit out to put the new stuff on top. This is perfect because tonight I want to make strombolis, so we'll use this to make some strombolis. Well, you know what? I don't know if I'm making strombolis tonight or tomorrow. That might be a tomorrow thing. We're gonna see what happens, but in the next day or two I want to make strombolis, so this is perfect because I'm gonna need this refilled upstairs. I also have that rice I need to dump in. However, some of our lids are gamma lids, which are the twisty tops, and some of them are the pull lids, and the pull off lids are terrible to get off. I cannot get it off that rice bucket to save my life. So I'm gonna wait for my husband to be available in a little bit, and I'll have him pull that off and dump the rest of the rice into that bucket for me, which is really great. Other than that, all of my buckets are filled, which is really what I wanted to get done today, was to refill these buckets. I'm gonna take a second to clean up underneath the shelf, just a hair, get my buckets back underneath there really nicely. But you can see I still have a bag of all-purpose flour and a bag of bread flour. That's kind of why I want to get more buckets, so that I can have 2 buckets of rice, 2 buckets of sugar, 2 buckets of bread flour, 2 buckets of all-purpose flour. We're starting to play around with semolina flour just a little bit, because real semolina flour is grown in Italy. It's not sprayed with things that it is here in the US, and it's shipped in. We got our first shipment of just 2 small bags of semolina flour, and I think in the next day or two I'm going to bring you guys along. And I think what I want to do is make a loaf with this bread flour that I usually make my bread with, and then a loaf with some semolina flour, and see the differences between the two, and if we can taste the difference, if it rises differently, like all of those things. I think we'll do that in the next couple of days, because if the semolina flour goes well, my husband wants to switch to semolina flour for things that we can switch it over for, right, with like our breads and our pastas and things like that. And then I'll still buy probably bread flour or all-purpose flour for things like cookies, and we're start testing some of that stuff with like muffins and quick breads and things like that. So that's kind of the next change we might be doing here. And it seems like every time you get used to one thing, you find something better and you want to switch it over to something else. Hi, did you find me? Oh, you found me?
So to make the coffee creamer, it's really easy. It's just a little bit of heavy cream. I would say about a cup or so, about a cup of milk, splash of vanilla, brown sugar. You can do white sugar if you prefer. And we're just going to kind of dissolve that on the stove and stir it until all of that sugar is dissolved. And then I store mine in a mason jar in the fridge, and it's ready whenever I need it.
For our bars, using up some of our stale crab crackers, I have 1 stick of butter. We're doing a cup-ish of peanut butter. We're gonna melt this in the microwave. This is gonna go in our bowl, lasagna pan, whatever you're using for your bar. While that's in the microwave melting, I put mine in for a minute. These are just my stale granola bars, and we're gonna crush them. You can put these in a food processor.
I started off by spraying my pan with some Pam just so that the bars come out easily. Throw in your crushed up graham crackers. You're looking for about a cup and a half, 2 cups, give or take, right? We're gonna mix in our peanut butter and our melted butter. This is going to be the base of our bar here. I like to get mine mixed up a decent amount, and then I will just eyeball my powdered sugar. So you're looking for about half a cup, 3/4 cup.
Okay, so now that we have it all spread out about the bottom of our pan, we're going to take some chocolate chips and put them in the same bowl that we melted our peanut butter and stuff in. I'm throwing in a mix of chocolate chips because when I put these in here, I didn't label them. Can't remember what's what, so I could have figured that out. Oh well, not that big of a deal. We're gonna do a mix of chocolate. To help it from getting all chunky, I like to put in just a little bit of butter in here when I melt it. I'm gonna melt this in the microwave, stir, and once it's all melted, we're just gonna top this with our chocolate. You can leave this out on the counter to set, or if you're in a rush, kind of like I am, to get this set before my kids get off the bus, I'm gonna stick it in the fridge so that it cools, it sets, and then we pull it out and cut it up like a granola bar. The coolest thing about these is the fact that we're making these essentially out of like leftover scraps. That I found while cleaning out the pantry, some of the rest of our random bits of chocolate chips. We got to use some of our reorganized items like our powdered sugar, but also just using up some of those really old stale graham crackers and still finding a purpose for them. This is a great thing to do if you have just like a little bit of peanut butter left in the bottom of your peanut butter jar and you just want to get rid of it. Great, easy snack, and takes like 5 minutes and 1 bowl and 1 spoon to kind of mix together, which is really great. So while that's melting, I'm gonna clean up our mess here, put things back in the pantry. As I have these left over from the holidays, I'm gonna throw some sprinkles on, just part of it, because when my husband and I eat these, we're not gonna really want the sprinkles on it. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. You got to see kind of how in real time I'll just clean out my pantry and figure out something that I can make with some of my odds and ends, so they don't have to become either chicken scraps or just complete waste. I also show you guys how I make my coffee creamer, which is one of my favorite things that I make nowadays. And we just got to do some cleaning out of things. I got to show you guys food storage a little bit and how we like store and rotate food. A lot of this video was just how to prevent food waste and how I use things up when and where. And I like videos like this personally because it actually shows real life examples, and just because this is something that works for me, it might not work exactly for you, but it might get your wheels turning and help you think about things a little bit differently when you're clearing out a pantry in your home or a refrigerator in your home or something like that. So I hope wherever you guys are, you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in another one. Bye.